Do you ever feel like you're stuck in a never-ending argument loop? The good news is you're not alone. And the best part is you can turn your relationship around in just one step. It all starts with shifting how you respond to each other. Ready to break free? If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Shannon, your Barefoot Librarian. After years of diving into research, earning a master's degree in holistic education, and working as a librarian and teacher, I've realized one thing. Relationship advice in books is often full of fluff. But when I discovered Love and Respect by Dr. Emerson Eggerichs, something clicked. His framework for relationships is simple yet transformative, and I'm excited to share it with you. This is part 2 in my short series on love and respect. If you missed the first one, we explored the crazy cycle, the cycle of frustration and defensiveness that many couples get stuck in. If you haven't had a chance to watch it yet, I'll link that below so you can catch up. Today, we're shifting focus to how to break free from that cycle and create something healthier with the energizing cycle. It all starts with simple changes in how we respond to each other. Let's dive into how these small shifts can bring real positive change in your relationship. The energizing cycle is the positive feedback loop that builds when one partner gives the other what they crave most: love for women and respect for men. This cycle sparks a positive emotional response that strengthens the relationship and builds momentum. Here's why this works. For women, love is like oxygen. It's essential for their emotional well-being. Without love, they can't thrive. For men, respect is like oxygen. It's what fuels their sense of value and emotional health. Without respect, they feel drained. While both partners need both love and respect, one is more urgent than the other, and it's kind of inverse for each of them. Because of this, when a wife feels loved, she's more likely to respond with respect. When a husband feels respect, he's more likely to respond with love. This mutual exchange creates a positive cycle where both partners feel valued, appreciated, and emotionally connected. The energizing cycle allows both partners to feel safe and seen, fostering deeper intimacy and trust in the relationship. The energizing cycle starts with recognizing the emotional filters through which each partner processes the world. After decades of counseling couples and researching relationships, Dr. Eggerichs uses the metaphor of glasses and hearing aids to describe these filters. Women usually wear pink glasses, seeing the world through lenses of love, while men tend to wear blue glasses, viewing through a lens of respect. In addition to these filters, there's the hearing aids analogy. Women's hearing aids are tuned to hear love, while men's hearing aids are tuned to hear respect. Understanding that both partners process emotions through different filters helps create a more supportive, empathetic dynamic. When each partner becomes aware of these differences, they can respond more effectively to each other's needs, building a stronger, more energized relationship. As you begin practicing these small shifts, offering love or respect, even when it's tough, you start to see how powerful this simple concept really is. But how do you know what actually feels loving or respectful to your partner? Those are kind of vague terms, right? That's what we're diving into next. The power of couple, C-O-U-P-L-E, and chairs, C-H-A-I-R-S. Once you understand how the energizing cycle works, the next step is knowing how to live it in everyday life. That's where two powerful tools come in: couple and chairs. These acronyms were developed by Dr. Emerson Eggerichs after decades of pastoring, counseling, and researching couples. They offer simple but deeply practical ways to show love and respect in ways that matter most to your spouse. By intentionally practicing these principles, even just one at a time, you can start to shift the emotional atmosphere of your relationship and build lasting momentum in the energizing cycle. All right, gentlemen, let's start with you. C-O-U-P-L-E, couple, outlines how a husband can demonstrate love in ways that speak directly to his wife's heart. Dr. Emerson Eggerichs breaks it down beautifully. Loving your wife well isn't about being perfect or always knowing what to say. It's about showing up in ways that speak directly to her heart. The couple acronym offers 6 powerful ways to express love in a way that she truly feels. Let's break it down. C, closeness. She craves emotional intimacy. The sense that you're not just physically there, but present with her. That could look like holding her hand on the couch, checking in with a genuine, "How are you really doing?" or making time to just be together without distractions. When you draw close, she feels safe and seen. O, openness. Let her in. Share your thoughts, feelings, even your doubts. You don't need to have all the answers. What matters most to her is that when you're real with her, when you open up, she feels trusted and included. Walls come down and connection goes up. You, understanding. This one's gold. So often when she shares a struggle or frustration, she's not looking for you to fix it. She just wants you to feel it with her. to stand in it with her for a moment and say, "That sounds really hard," or "I get why you feel that way." A simple but powerful move is to ask, "Do you want advice right now, or do you just want me to listen and be here with you?" That one question can defuse a ton of tension and make her feel deeply loved. P, peacemaking. Conflict happens, but what matters is how you handle it. Be the one who leans in, apologizes first if needed, and says, "Let's work through this together." She doesn't expect perfection. She wants to know that even when things get rocky, you're willing to fight for each other, not with each other. L, loyalty. In a world full of distractions and shiny things, your constant loyalty is her anchor. She wants to know she's your one and only, your ride or die, that you speak well of her when she's not around and stand by her when she is. Loyalty builds trust, and trust builds intimacy. E, esteem. This is all about showing her how much you value who she is. Compliment her character, not just her looks. Thank her for those little things she does, stuff that might go unnoticed. Cheer her on with her goals. When you affirm her regularly, it lifts her spirit and strengthens your bond. On a quick personal note, I usually don't get too sappy here, but I have to give credit where credit is due. My husband lives this stuff out in real life. After a few rough relationships in the past, we both decided early on to become students of love and respect. We buried ourselves in relationship books, and honestly, it's paid off in the best ways. Wes actually does all of the couple principles really well, but esteem is where he especially shines. I've grown so much since being with him, not because he changed me, but because he made it safe for me to grow. My best friend once told me,
"He helps you blossom."
And it's true. His steady love and encouragement have made me braver, more adventurous, and more fully me. Let's just say there is no way I would be recording myself without him. And I share that for two reasons. First, to show you that this stuff really works. And second, to remind you that it can be learned. We didn't just wake up with this dynamic. It's something we've built, one intentional choice at a time. But that doesn't mean we're perfect at this. We still have our moments, I promise. All right, ladies, our turn. Chairs, CHAIRS, helps a wife understand how to communicate respect in ways that are meaningful to her husband. Before we dive in, just a quick reminder, this isn't about being perfect or performing. It's about understanding what makes your husband feel seen, valued, and emotionally connected. Just like love is oxygen to us, respect is oxygen to him, and it doesn't have to be complicated. These insights come from Dr. Emerson Eggerichs, who developed this framework after decades of pastoring, counseling, and researching couples. Every man is unique, of course, but this is a powerful starting place. C, conquest. Appreciate his drive to work, achieve, and make a difference. Whether he's working on a big project or tackling something smaller, acknowledging his efforts shows you see the value in what he's doing. A simple,
"I'm proud of how hard you're working,"
goes a long way in reinforcing his sense of accomplishment. H, hierarchy. Honor his role as protector and provider. Many men carry a deep sense of responsibility for their families. Let him know you see that by expressing gratitude for his care and commitment. Saying something like,
"Thanks for looking out for us,"
or asking for his thoughts shows you value his judgment and trust him to lead. A, authority. Trust his ability to lead and love. This doesn't mean he has to be in charge. It means recognizing his initiative and willingness to shoulder responsibilities with you. When you believe in his judgment, even if you have a different perspective, you communicate,
"I believe in you."
And on this note, if you struggle to trust your husband's judgment, at the very least, trust his heart that it's his intention to do well for you and your family. I, insight. Value his perspective, even when it's different from yours. While he might not always express his emotions in the same way, he often sees things through a problem-solving lens. Let him know you appreciate his thoughts and observations. A simple,
"What do you think?"
opens up space for him to share, creating a deeper connection. Our relationship. He craves shoulder-to-shoulder connection. While we may long for deep heart-to-heart conversations, he might just want to be with you in a more relaxed, activity-based way. Whether it's watching a show, working on a project, or taking a walk, don't underestimate the power of simply being by his side and sharing moments of togetherness. S, sexuality. For many men, sexual connection is a primary way they express love and emotional closeness. When approached with care, openness, and desire for mutual enjoyment rather than obligation, it deepens the bond between you. Real talk for a second. Wes and I have been married less than 2 years, and I've already managed to seriously botch every single one of these. not just once, but repeatedly. But here's the beauty of this framework. It gives something clear and intentional to come back to, something rooted in wisdom. It's not about getting it right all the time. It's about noticing when things slip, learning from those moments, and choosing to keep showing up. That's what makes love and respect a practice, not a performance. And honestly, we have the rest of our lives to continue to get to know one another and hopefully grow into better partners along the way. Also, a quick disclaimer. While I think love and respect offers some really valuable insights, I also want to be transparent about something. Dr. Emerson Eggerichs comes from a conservative, somewhat patriarchal viewpoint, and I don't fully agree with all of his ideas, especially when it comes to authority and hierarchy. But I also have to admit that I have some bias here myself. I have a background in church environments where those ideas were taken to extremes, and honestly not always in a healthy or even safe way. So while I definitely think there's wisdom in this book, otherwise I wouldn't be sharing it, I wanted to be honest about my perspective. And I might be wrong, but I think it's important to acknowledge these hangups as I share my takeaways with you. Practical examples, love and respect in action. For her, respecting your husband often starts with little things. It can be as simple as choosing to listen attentively when he talks, even if you're tired or distracted. It might look like taking a moment to appreciate his work, whether that's recognizing his effort around the house or acknowledging his drive in his career. A key moment is when you consciously choose not to interrupt during a conversation, which is very difficult for me, or refrain from rolling your eyes, because those subtle cues can either affirm or undermine his sense of respect. For him, love doesn't always need to be expressed with grand gestures. Sometimes a thoughtful, "I love you," or a simple act of affection like holding her hand while walking or remembering something she mentioned weeks ago can have a profound impact. Even offering her a moment of comfort when she's stressed or just letting her know you're there for her with actions instead of just words builds that emotional connection she craves so deeply. These gestures might be simple, but they lay the foundation for a strong, loving bond. Small gestures matter. It's easy to underestimate the power of a small act. But when you pause to thank him for the task he did without being asked, or you leave a note letting her know how much you appreciate her, it shows that you're actively working to nurture the relationship. It's the consistency of these small gestures that matters most. They build trust, they create emotional safety, they reinforce the pattern of love and respect. Building the energizing cycle takes time and intentional effort. It's not something that happens overnight, but rather something that requires consistency and a shared commitment from both partners. When you make small positive actions of love and respect habitual, it strengthens the foundation of your relationship and fosters deeper emotional connection. And this doesn't mean you need to be perfect or get it right every time. What matters is showing up, even when things are difficult. Whether it's a small gesture of love or a simple acknowledgement of respect, these actions create momentum. The key is to keep practicing and reinforcing these behaviors, celebrating the progress as you go, and understanding that it's an ongoing effort that truly builds the energizing cycle. Relationships grow when you commit to showing each other love and respect over and over again, no matter what. If this post stirred something in you, maybe a bit of conviction, maybe a breath of hope, I promise you're not alone. Wes and I are less than 2 years into marriage, and I've already messed up every single one of these principles more times than I can count. But what I love about this framework is that it gives us a way forward. Not a formula, not perfection, but a path to keep showing up, learning and loving better over time. If you want to go deeper, Love and Respect by Dr. Emerson Eggerichs is a great place to start. While I don't align with every single page, it's packed with insight, and it's made a real difference in my marriage. You can find the book linked below if you'd like to check that out. And hey, if you've seen this dynamic in your own relationship, I would love to hear about it. Drop a story in the comments or pass this post along to someone who might need a little encouragement. That's all for now. Take care, stay curious, and I'll see you next time.